Our final inductee tonight, a voice and a face that you've seen for many years in eastern Iowa and beyond, Ron Gonder. Into our Hall of Fame tonight, legendary broadcaster Ron Gonder. And Bob, I know that you and Ron, great friends to this day, and I believe this was a man you really wanted to get into the Hall of Fame.
Yes, there's no doubt about it, because of the things he's done here in Cedar Rapids and with the University of Iowa. He's been a great supporter of the Cedar Rapids Colonels, been on the board with the Colonels, has done so much for the high school kids, athletes, and baseball, and it's a delight, really a high honor to be able to announce that Ron Gonder is a member of the Cedar Rapids Colonels Hall of Fame. His play-by-play voice of Iowa football and basketball at WMT AM 600 from 1970 through the 1990s. And he too was at KRNT in Des Moines, I believe, and before that at the University of Illinois, and he was certainly a welcome addition to the Cedar Rapids press corps. He has been a major leaguer all the way in that situation, and it's a delight to welcome him. They always have asked us if we were enemies or competitors. We did our own thing when we were on the air, and we respected each other, and through that and our fellowship on the road, why, we became very good friends. But mainly his work over a period of time, he's more than deserving Hall of Fame. And the big shoe is certainly welcome to the group. And one of the lines he always said, in fact, I know he used it on our last broadcast together. He said, pass in the songbooks, it's all over. But Ron, we welcome you to the Cedar Rapids Colonels Hall of Fame.
We'll bring Ron up in a moment, but first want to bring up Dick Bramer, who spent a lot of time here in Cedar Rapids himself, knows Ron very well, worked with Ron, and here's Twins broadcaster Dick Bramer.
Thank you, Morgan. Good to be back in Cedar Rapids again. We were at this event last year, and I always feel kind of like a prodigal son when I come back here. I came here in the late 1977, spent a couple years at WMT Radio and TV, and then left in 1981. But when I was here last year, I sat next to a table that had John Campbell, who had just retired. John showed up here about the same time I did and had a great career here. Bob Brooks, I think, came here before Quaker Oats did, and he's still going strong. And then, of course, our honoree here tonight. I didn't spend as much time here as they did, but they found something here. And I think what they found was a lot of Vernon Nances. This community is wonderful, and that's why you can understand why a sportscaster or anybody else would want to stay here. The community, not just the baseball community, but the community as a whole, just a wonderful place to raise a family. I came here after an internship, or during an internship from St. Cloud State, and like a lot of college kids, I knew everything, but amazingly at the same time didn't know a thing. And I was blessed to have a mentor as my first boss, Ron Gonder. Technically, as a play-by-play guy, he had no peers. I mean, he was the best, I thought. I can still remember his call of the Hawkeyes beating Georgetown to get to the Final Four. Still rings in my ear. That's a sign of a good play-by-play guy, when you can remember something that happened over 30 years ago. But more than that, Ron showed a young college punk how to do play-by-play, but beyond that, just how to conduct yourself in the workplace and how to behave. He had his hands full with me, I'm sure. He probably, hopefully, will not share some of those stories, but I couldn't have asked for a better mentor. I knew it in 1977 when I got here. I'm very happy to be here tonight to confirm it. The man is a Hall of Famer. I present to you Ron Gonder.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased and proud to accept this honor. It's very, very nice. It's something that I'll treasure. It's something that will reside in my den that I will see quite often and cherish. I was on the board of directors here for, I think, 20 years, about 20 years. And it happened in this way. One day, our general manager at WMT Radio TV, Lou Van Ostrand, called me in and said that he was on the board of directors of the professional baseball club, and he wondered he was ready to pass the torch, and he wondered would I be interested in succeeding him. And one of the questions I asked was, wouldn't that be a conflict of interest, a sports reporter covering the professional baseball team? And he said, well, I don't think so, because Bob Brooks, who is the sports director at KCRG Radio TV, he is on the board. And also Gus Schrader, who's the sports editor and columnist of the Cedar Rapids Gazette. So I don't think it would be. This is more of a community service kind of thing. So I agreed. I said, okay, that would be fine. I'll do it. And then he handed me this document, and I looked at it, and he said, Ron, what this is a share of stock. There may have been more than one share, I don't remember. But he said each board member has to have a share of stock. It's not, it has no financial value. It's just symbolic that some people put money into the ball club to get it going at one point some years ago, and WMT wound up with some of this stock. And each person that's on the board has a share of stock, whether they put money in or not. They inherited it from someone else, and so you take this share of stock and put it someplace, secure, and just hang on to it. And when you ever leave the board, then you will pass that share of stock on. So I did, and then 20 years later, I went to the very secure filing cabinet in the file. It didn't need to be kept in a safe deposit box because it wasn't worth anything. And got it out and passed it on at the time when I left the board after those 20 years. When I joined the board, there were people on the board, I could tell after my first few meetings, how they loved baseball. We had some older gentlemen on the board in their 60s, 70s, and even one gentleman, I think Fred Killen, was in his 80s. And these gentlemen had this love for baseball and for Cedar Rapids baseball all these years. The Frank Poffs, the John Clemens, Harley Steele, names probably that mean nothing to you, but all names of men who were the ones who were laid the groundwork for what we have today in Cedar Rapids baseball. And all I could tell had this love for the game. We had our younger people. I was probably in my 30s when I joined it. Bill Quinby was maybe that same age. There were a lot of others. Bob Dolphin and Bob Klinger were of that age. So we had a good mix of young and old. We had great leadership in those years as well, just as you do today. Harold Pinky Primrose became the president of the board, a longtime president in my early years, and then was followed by Bob Nance, and then by Wally Krause when I finished my years on the board, all with great leadership over those years, and all with that same love of baseball. And Bob Brooks introduced me, and Bob and I have been friends now all these years. I've kidded a number of times that in the wintertime, traveling on the road with the Iowa team, I had more dinners with Bob Brooks than I do with my wife. And it's probably true. And he had, as you can tell, a good deal to do with me receiving this honor, and I really appreciate that coming from the friend that he is and that we have been. I think he holds a unique position with this baseball team. There are 3 generations of Brooks on this baseball board, or who have been. His father, Ira, was on the board. Bob followed his footsteps, and now his son, Rob, is on this board. And so, again, that love of baseball, and to have 3 generations, I don't care where you are, or what city, or what board it is, 3 generations is really, really a great thing to look at. I appreciate Dick and your comments and what you have said about me. That, as you can imagine, no one could receive higher praise than what some of the things that Dick said, and feel that those were really, really great compliments. Dick, as he said, when we worked together, that was the time when WMT Radio and TV split up. Were sold to different entities, and I chose the radio to do the play-by-play of Hawkeye football and basketball, and then Dick replaced me as the television guy here. And so he was really my last assistant on television. I had other assistants over on the radio side later, but we had a good relationship, and as you can tell, Dick Bramer has gone on to really fine things in sportscasting, and he was very, very good as a young man, and he's very, very good as the Twins TV play-by-play guy this day. I think that kind of sums up what I wanted to say tonight. There's certainly, I've talked about the love of baseball, and there's a lot of love of baseball in this room. Cedar Rapids, what we've done here and the things we've done in the years since I left the board with the ballpark and everything about it, the entertainment and the factor, that piece that we have, the sports part of the whole thing, the entertainment, is really, really special here in Cedar Rapids. We have a great thing for kids at our ballpark. We have a great thing for families, and it's just, I think we are really, really blessed with what we have as far as baseball goes in the city of Cedar Rapids. Again, thank you so much. Thank you to the board and to Wally and your committee. I feel very, very honored, and I'm very, very proud to accept this honor from the Cedar Rapids Professional Baseball Club.